These were patterns that I tied, geez, more than 10 years ago, and basically it was just, again, it was the modern materials at the time. Lite-Brite was on the market, and the one I used was obviously Spirit River, or as far as I believe, the first company to bring this out. This is pattern the orange, or the golden orange Lite-Brite shrimp. It's one of the most popular ones in the set that I tied. And it's a very simple fly. Fishes really well in the Moy and islands, so I would certainly, if you're going in that area, give it a go. But it works in other rivers as well. It's a very simple dressing. Now, the thread I'm using is the uni thread, 80 in fire orange. Now just simply put a wee flick of wax onto the thread to start it off. Now I keep the wax on the side of my finger. And then I'll just simply start at the eye and take the thread all the way down. You're looking just between, like, either in line with the barb or just by it, or just before it. Depends whatever way you like it. Now the hook I'm using, this is a Sprite. It's a size 12 Sprite double, and it's a salmon double. It's a heavy one. It's the ones I like. I don't like the low water one. The heavy is the better. Or you could use whatever double you like, or single, treble, whatever you want to use. Originally it was tied on a treble, but I'm more tying on doubles and singles now. Anyway, dubbed on some gold Lite-Brite. I'm going to form like a ball, just at the back. It's a small tag, but you form a small ball of it just at the back, so it helps to lift the tail, or in this case it's a rump feather. This is a rump feather. It's normally yellow on the golden pheasant, but it's been dyed red. It makes a nice colour, and ideal for small shrimp patterns. You can use them all. There we are. You can see obviously it hasn't dyed at the bottom, but that's not the bit I want, so just remove, draw back the fluff. Don't take it all back, because you could use this as a small handle for holding the hackle. So I'm going to tie this in by the tip. Just draw the fibres back and then tie the tip in. Just 3 or 4 turns down, draw it back, and bring the thread turns back up to the Lite-Brite, or the small tag, and turn away the tip of the feather. And all you do is draw it back, do 1 turn. I normally finish the hackle. There's enough one there. Now, to save your fingers, you can use a brush as you wind. In this case, it's just an old toothbrush, and just you want it really up close and tight, come all the way around, nice and tight, tie it down, and then trim away basically the length of the body, and then bring your thread up, just making sure the stem stays like underneath. Doesn't really matter, a dub body you can have it round it, but it makes it much tidier if you do that. Now here's my brush again. I'm just going to make sure these fibres are all the way around. You see what I mean? If you tie up against the ball with Lite-Brite, it stays up nice, and really basically allows the tail of the shrimp just to swim extremely well when it's in the water. And then all we have to do is get some more of the gold Lite-Brite. Very easy to dub, straight onto the thread. Now bring the thread back down to the tail. If I go close, if you watch, you'll see how the tail lifts a wee bit more if I tighten up against it. Just bring the dub in, start there, and that'll hold it. And then take your gold Lite-Brite up the body. Got one of these small fibres, I'll take it away. Leave a good space, because you've got a wing, a hackle, and the option of using jungle cork seemed a bit of space there, so there's a good, what, 2.5mm at least there. Now we're ready for our wing. Now basically when you tie a shrimp fly, you normally would have a middle hackle. So what I did, to compensate for that, I got, in this case, this is grey squirrel dyed hot orange, and basically tied that in as a wing, but when I tied it in, I made sure it came to about halfway into the tail. So we simply, to line up the tips, all you do is bring the hair 90 degrees from the stem of the tail, and then trim it away. That lines up the ends for you, or you could stack them, it's entirely up to you. So there's your length, and you want it about halfway into the tail, and then I roll it around the shank. Now it's basically, you've got to encourage this to run round. Now I just use my fingers and keep the thread reasonably tight. I turn the thread to bring round the hair. It's something you really got to practice, and it will come round, and there we are. That's it done. And then trim away the excess. Work your way around, just watch your thread. At this point, make sure you've waxed your thread, so it's nice and tight. Especially when you're tying in here, you need the grip, so it's not going to pull out. Just going to take away the excess wax, and then you can come in with a bit of Velcro. Just bring out some of the gold Lite-Brite. There we go. For the front hackle, I'm just going to use a badger dyed hot orange. Tie it in by the tip. Looking fibre length has got slightly shorter than the wing, obviously, and from half the length of the wing. Just going to break off the tip, just basically folding it in, folding it back. You can use the side of your scissors and just rub it on the side. This will fold the hackle a bit for you, at least get it started. And then, looking probably about 3 turns anyway. Come up with your thread, a 90-degree bend into the hackle. Now the hackle is a badger dyed hot orange. Now these are whiting necks. I bought them in Ireland, and they're ideal. And then just keeping the thread nice and tight, you can break it. As well as an option, you can put jungle cork on. Now I've got 2 small jungle cork eyes. I'm just going to set them on small cheeks. Just a loose turn or 2, tie them in. Have a wee quick look to see how they're sitting under the right length. You can always pull them in, move them at this point, get them to sit where you want, and then all I do is fold them back, secure them back, and then form a nice head using the thread. Take your time. There's wax on the thread, so there's plenty of grip there. Just keeping the thread tight, forget everything just now, and then come in and whip finish. Placing the thread turns where you want them to be, and then tighten up. When I tighten up with the whip finish, I mean, when you whip finish and are forming the knot, don't form it like it was really tight, so that you can't pull it back. When you pull it back, once you've done 3 or 4 turns, and then when you pull it back, that'll tighten the knot up for you. So just watch that you don't put it on too tight at first. And then you can break away, or cut away the ends of these tips, and there we go. And that's the Lite-Brite shrimp, or the golden orange Lite-Brite shrimp, which is a lovely pattern. And all I do, for the best and the shiniest head you can get, everyone asks me this, how do I get a nice shiny head? This is Loctite super glue. I'm going to show you the bottle. It's Easy Brush, there you go, the Easy Brush Loctite super glue. And I cut the brush away till there's very little bristles left, so that I can apply the the super glue very lightly onto the head. I don't want it anywhere else other than on the thread turns. So just all the way around. Now that dries extremely quick, especially if the glue is new. Or if you can keep it in the fridge, it'll last longer for you. And when you do start to use it, it activates straight away. And the activator is moisture for super glue, so whenever it gets into the air, it'll react, it'll dry. Now once that's dry, then hit it with a coat of varnish. And it's solid. That there, the super glue seals all the turns of thread perfectly, and you should always have a nice shiny head in your fly, especially a salmon fly. Now I'm just going to put a wee drop of varnish on it, because you can easily varnish within about 5-10 minutes of putting it on, because the super glue dries really quick. All the way around. And what I do is just a wee in between the wire and the eye, just fill it up with some varnish. And there we go. You see that head? That's the way that head stays. Nice and shiny. And that there is your golden orange or gold Lite-Brite shrimp.